I became a member of Stagecrafters, only it was called the Clausen Players, back in 1956.
1965.
In the mid-60s.
The 60s.
1983.
1989.
91.
2005.
2013.
My boyfriend, Bob Johnson, and I actually started Stagecrafters in 1956. And I was all of 17. I remember being in awe of Amy, and I was sitting backstage in those days, because you wouldn't do it now, with a book prompting when people would forget lines. Well, you can't forget lines anymore.
First show, Blythe Spirit, putting that together. And then the next one, milestone, would be coming to the Baldwin, moving in 1985, which was a thrill.
Hal Robinson, who was one of the big instigators in getting this building, had come up with the idea of building a new theater on top of the Center Street parking structure.
When we were leaving there, the Lou McDaniel, a big important person in the Royal Oak, trotted after me and said, Hal, you're not going to get the other thing, but you may get something else. And I knew exactly what he was talking about. He was talking about this place. This place was a shambles. There was icicles coming down from the ceiling. And
there had been a fire on stage, so there was stage floor damage and damage to the backstage area. As you see all that nice plasterwork now, that was all covered up when it was a movie theater.
The opening day, the paint on the walls were still wet, but we opened in September.
After the renovation of the Baldwin, we had people coming in who you hadn't met before. This entire cavity was filled with scaffolding, with people with paintbrushes and all the things, just a few weeks before. And all of a sudden, it was opening night of Music Man. The seats were replaced, the scaffolding was gone. The place was electric. That's pretty memorable, just watching people's faces and all the excitement that goes with it. An opening night when we didn't even have an occupancy permit yet.
And we started off initially with just doing 2 productions a year. And I was really very privileged because the theater was so all-consuming downstairs that I was given the authority for many years to, what do you suggest and who do you think should be the director and all that stuff. And then suddenly people said, well, how come she's got all that authority? Let's have a committee going. And we did.
Being membership chairman, I loved it because I got a lot of people interested in it, and when they felt they couldn't do anything, found that they really could be a real asset to Stagecrafters. It doesn't take a lot to belong because there's a need for everything that anybody can offer.
My most fondest memory was when Tom and I directed Frozen.
We've worked together as match set, and we directed the play Palmer Park upstairs on the second stage. We had seen the play in Stratford and we just really liked it, but we knew that it needed to be done in Detroit because it was about Detroit. And it just was a very powerful experience to have the audiences moved by what had happened in the city in the years following the '67 riots.
Well, my fondest memories really I had 3. First, obviously, was when I met my future wife here in 1989, and we were at a monthly membership meeting, and got to talk and spent till 2 o'clock in the morning at a restaurant talking and learning more about each other, and a year later we were married.
Making Joseph's coat, is probably an artistic achievement that is pretty unbelievable.
Close every door to me, hide all the world from me, bar all the windows and shut out the light. Do what you want with me, hate me and laugh at me.
Camelot was the first show, and I remember being absolutely petrified because it was the first time I'd ever conducted an orchestra.
Well, when I came here, I didn't feel that we ever had people for a tap dance show. And having been a long-time tap dance teacher, I started to teach adult classes, so that whenever we did a tap show after that, they were fabulous.
We became aware of Stagecrafters when it was still in the old building in Clawson. And Ray and I both have auditioned over there, but she was in Sound of Music and met a fellow named Jan Chapinski. And he called us in 1985 and said, "You got to see this." And he brought us to the Baldwin, and we've been here ever since.
It was Other Desert Cities, which I just fell in love with. I thought it was a marvelous, marvelous production on every level, not just because I directed it, but I had fabulous actors, and the set was amazing, and all of the production values were in line. It was a wonderful time.
I love design. I loved creating the set for Les Mis. I get to put my stamp on the shows that the actors get to use, the sets that they get to use. I get to give them a world to play in.
Since I've been involved in Stagecrafters, I have been main costumer and worked on costumes. I've costumed in all three venues, SYT, main stage, and second stage. I've produced in all three venues, main stage, second stage, SYT. I've done set dress, assistant produced. I've been on the board of directors and on quite a few committees. I've been also on the SYT board.
I think I'm mostly an actor. That's mostly what I do in my life, is I'm an actor. But I also do a lot of costumes. And I work with this Stagecrafter Youth Theater because my grandson is at Stagecrafters too.
My fondest memory would have to be directing Les Miserables. It truly showed how committed and how talented and just how wonderful our organization is. We are not just any community theater, but we are one of the best.
The fellow on stage, Skip Popes, was building the set, and he yells out to me, "Hey, can you swing a hammer?" I says, "Well, yeah." So he's ever going to swing and I need help. So that's what started me on my set building career at Stagecrafters, was helping Skip build the kids' set. And watching my kids perform and performing with my kids and being involved in their growth through the theater, it's good, all good, happy memory.
It's magical. When I'm on the stage and I look out at the audience and I see their feelings coming back at me, whether it's tears, laughter, contemplation, that's what keeps me coming back.
I love living in southeastern Michigan. I want to have a family, and I knew that I could continue to do theater and music without it having to be my profession, and especially having the opportunity to do it here at Stagecrafters, where it's professional level anyway. I think I really got the best of both worlds.
One of my fondest memories of Stagecrafters is when we finally got to perform Les Mis on stage. It's a show that I looked forward to for several years, enjoyed as a child with my brothers, and was excited that we finally got the opportunity to put it on a stage of a theater that I love.
My favorite show probably was Shrek the Musical.
The Sound of Music.
Shrek. Ragtime.
Annie. Pajama Game.
Music Man.
City of Angels.
Forever Plaid.
I do a lot of the larger special effects things we do around here, flying dragon puppets, tables that elevate people into the air. So I think from a technology point of view, I've helped to raise the quality of what we do in our shows.
The second fondest memory is the times that I've been able to share here with both my daughter Jennifer and my daughter Alexandra with our youth theater program, which to me is probably one of the finest youth theater programs you'd find in Michigan. At the age of 18, my daughter Jennifer was involved in a car accident that took her life, and people around here at Stagecrafters, both her friends and some of the parents, Ann Tortolot, who is one of our members, got together and decided to put a scholarship fund together in her name.
The first word that comes to mind when I think of Stagecrafters is fun.
Family.
Excellence.
Family.
Passion.
History.
Fun.
Excitement.
Extraordinary.
Community.
We have a great thing.
That's 3 words.
Hi, I'm Mary Ann McCourt, Executive Director at Stagecrafters. It's such an exciting time to be here with our 60th anniversary, our Diamond Jubilee Gala, and our anniversary concert. I want to thank our volunteers and members for all their work and tireless effort to put on such professional type live quality theater in the beautiful historic Baldwin. We couldn't have done it without you.
Captain.